Hey everybody, coming at you with Tuesday's guild raid strategy. This is our Super Musaka build. There's also Counter Crut. Some people use different things for today. I do believe we are the highest scoring guild. There's some things you need to know. Um, I do have kind of a choppy, a little bit long, obviously. Everything you need to know about Musaka Day video that I had for the guild. Some of the information might be a little bit outdated, but um, well, by outdated I mean like a week to 2 weeks old. So I will be making it public by the time this video uploads also. So if you want a little bit more in depth, go check that one out. Things you should know. The defense for all allies, 2 balance characters, the bonus cleared score with 2 area characters, and the water terrain access. The water terrain access is 100% necessary. The balance heroes, because Zero is a balance hero, he activates this one and it counts him as this and the balance, which for whatever reason counts him for a balance hero twice. So you only need Zero to activate this balance one. It's probably a glitch, but whatever. And a bunch of rock heroes. I'm going to be using Lee here. I usually use Dominique, but I just don't want to spend the gold to ungear for the minor amounts that we're going to be doing. And I will be taking don't have very many. Yeah, Katarina marks right now. Anyway, let's take Cass. It's pretty strong. I'll show you my loaded masteries after. But this is basically how it is. So we basically take all the bonuses, and then you just let your super soldier do the work. You don't need any Lord Gauge stuff for this strategy, but it is 100% gear reliant, and not every guild is going to be able to mimic this one. But this is very necessary for a lot people to do something like this, especially in the top tier guilds, because this boss doesn't have any movement, so he's always wherever he is. So basically what I'm saying is there's no way to sweet spot and snipe him because he's able to hit everything, and his suicide explosion damage is outrageous. Now if you want to, you can use the firing support. Lee is just here for the overkill and take the sigil. The best overkill hero is Dominique. If you're going to be going hardcore with Dominique, I'd probably get between maybe another 600,000 or so damage per thing. Now, if like the arrows is just, it's really not important to have it at all. It's not necessary. You should, if you're worried about charging up gauges, keep the combat support, because that's the only thing that's really going to matter to you with today's boss. Today's boss, if it hits a lot of targets with one of its skills, it uses disarm on them, and it's like a 3-turn disarm, so that's no bueno. But if you are able to get 5 people in the guild that can make a super soldier Musaka, it's basically just uphill from there. When we got our original Musakas in, we were able to get boss 5 killed all the time and get to boss 6 whatever, and then we were able to get boss 7. So it's pretty good. Like we can get about 65 million. I think that's my record 65 million on today. And my Musaka is always getting stronger. Now there are some things that can go wrong, but they're like the RNG has to align so crazy well for that. It's completely outrageous. The boss was supposed to be disarmed there. He shouldn't have been able to hurt anybody with his passive. Somehow Zero survives though. I'm going to use the combat support here to cure all those debuffs on Musaka. And hopefully Zero just gets killed soon. Generally this is one of the things that's kind of derpy. Sometimes Zero will survive. He'll like dodge somehow when the boss explodes and not die, or whatever reason he just won't get hit every now and then, and it can mess things up, but the minions will get strong enough. If you have like your Zero at level 1, that's the best. The other way to do it is to maybe have at the top your first, like let's say I have Lee in slot 1 And then slot 2, I would have Yekaterina, because then she would get really close to the boss from that point after taking the sigil. And then Lulu there also, and then 0 can be your overkill hero in the center on the water tiles if you have really strong ones. You're just going to have to play with it a little bit to find whatever formation is good for you. Our guild members have to use very slight different variations here and there. But this is actually kind of a not so good run for me right now because Muzak is not under the influence of the Gold Tiger and 2 pieces of the Desperado set. I'll show you my set thing after, or if this run just doesn't go very well at all, I might just redo the video because this hero thing is kind of messed up. Anyway, whenever I kill the next boss, now some things, or I guess the minions are going to kill him. Some things that you can do in the earlier stages, you can use guild shelling basically full time until around turn 25 or so, because Muzaka will heal off the minions, so you don't need to worry about healing. You can just do the extra damage, keep your mana up, I guess. If like that's really a non-issue with Muzaka. It does change later on. Later on, you do want to kind of keep the defense debuff off the boss. So if you don't know about the Lord skills here, the Absolute Protection is a 1 attack protection. It's not even really a particularly good defense buff, but it only works for a single attack. So even one of the minions can turn it off, to be honest. I don't like the level 10 soul gear for Muzaka on this because of just a few little things. Like I really should get up to +9 or +10, but it's just not really an issue for me because I got really overpowered potentials on all my stuff. We'll do a little look through of my my Muzaka's build after we're done. But if your guild can build 5 Super Muzakas, the strategy works better by a little bit if Muzaka actually is the last hero in the queue. So like there's a slight advantage for people that are using mercenaries instead of their own Muzaka, because we do have an excess of very strong Muzakas in the guild. So I picked the best 5, and they're the super soldiers of the week. Generally, we have the same ones. It's Quoven, Palitos, it's me, it's Mike Jr., and it's Lord KHX are the best Muzakas in chance right now. I believe. I don't know. Things change so much week to week, but those have been the top 5. I believe that only, well, maybe Quoven's been making a lot of huge improvements, and a few other players are trying to get into the ranks of the best Muzaka or whatever in the guild. But yeah, just things are changing. But with the way that the current thing is, if you have your Muzaka go last, there's just a couple little tiny perks that I just don't want to get into right now, but it helps you get a higher score by a very minor amount. But it's not rare for the top scorer in the guild to be somebody on Muzaka Day that does not have their own overpowered mercenary. So, like I said, so if you can get the guild as a collective to have at least 5 super soldier Muzakas, then the whole guild can replicate the strategy. So anyway, the guild shelling restores mana to 60,000 damage. The combat support removes 2 debuffs, heals and restores mana. The absolute protection heals and gives a 1-turn shield buff, and the firing support gets rid of minions. Now, we're about to stop having the minions spawn. I think they have 1 more spawn left. So I'm going to switch over to the combat support. What I want to do with the combat support is keep this defense debuff off me. The defense debuff staying off you is better than having the extra little defense buff for the 1 turn or whatever. I'm going to be making. I don't want to have to gear up Dominique all the time just for the extra 5 or 600k. So I think I'm actually going to make Lee a part of my regular team for today, just because it's easier that way. Cure that defense debuff. So just used it. But I think if I put Lee over there and then put the 0 down here, Lee will stay in the straight line, so it'll be easier for the boss to kill him. And then I'll have 0 grab the second sigil, then Lilith and whatever, and all that cluster crap going on in the middle. So I think that's what I'm going to go with. The only downside with the Ekaterinas is sometimes they're very good at disarming, and it messes some things up. Nice. The sets I'm using right now are the Slime King. Slime King is an absolute 100% must-have. Doesn't matter if you can attack, whatever. Should really be watching to make sure my health doesn't get too low. Oh, we're actually in a sweet spot of the boss right now. So once the boss gets to a certain amount of HP, he will not use the. Or am I at that spot? Yeah, I think I am. He won't use the defense debuff, so you can switch over to the absolute protection very temporarily, but just when it's in like the 25 or 30%. It's somewhere in like the maybe it's even 40% and lower HP. He just switches to using the skill that disarms and hits a lot of targets, and the other one. I lost maybe 5 turns or so with that 0 being alive, but generally I'm able to get the boss to level 7 by turn 45. I should be stronger this week than last week. A lot of it is crit RNG. But that's how strong my Muzaka is currently. But I have a Slime King, an EC, a Gold Tiger. They are 100% core. I think a Pathfinder is also very, very, very good. Yeah, it looks like I'm still on track. I think I need to keep the combat support here. He's going to hit me with the defense skill. Yeah. Now he will hit me with the defense skill, not this turn, but the one after that for sure. He's really active with the defense skill when his health is high, and then he switches to the other skills when his health is low. But it is a bit of a challenge to survive the level 7 boss. It might be easier with Crut, to be completely honest, but not quite sure. But if I got the extra 600,000-700,000 with the Dominique overkill, I could generally get around 13 million. Also, I didn't. I think I'm going to switch things up a little bit. And it looks like I'm going to be able to get to turn 50 this time. Oh no, maybe not. Oh, it wasn't a crit. There's still hope. It's unlikely, but there's still hope. Alright, great. So we got to turn 50. That's cool. Well, I'm already at. Oh, god damn it. Wasted load gauge. Whatever, like I said, it doesn't really matter on this level. Do I die? No, we get to even survive. That's fantastic. So I'm going to do one more run with a slightly different formation. I'm also going to show off my Muzaka. Maybe I'll even switch these gears just instead of being so lazy about it. Maybe I'll put Beast Train Dasso on them instead of. I can go Beast Train Dassomir Angel Knight. Whatever, it's not worth it. I'm literally, we're talking about maybe 2.5 to 3 million contribution to the whole guild with this, so that's fine. I just won't screw up any runs. But this is my set build. It's pretty broken, especially the potentials on gear like this and gear like this. Well, minus that sort of, but still not bad. And gear like this. And gear like this. Oh, I was also testing out a different thing where I needed a dodge potential. Switch this back to defense. No defense, eh? 340, 360. There we go. Alright, so hopefully that helps a little bit. Yeah, but I get a 1-star 0. Anyway, here's a different option for the formation. I'll also show you the formation I'll use with with Dominique also. I think it's pretty good. Alright, now normally if it's 0, 0 Yekaterina, Dominique, Lilith, Muzaka, and then Yekaterina. That's my normal formation. 0 goes here, Yeka goes here, which will get me both of the sigils. Next, on the front of the boss over here, this is where Dominique would go because she will walk all the way around. The reason she goes here is because I want Yekaterina my mercenary Yekaterina that's going to be in slot 6 was going to be one of the ones that goes over here. But we're up to Lilith, so Lilith would go here because now the boss has its thing where after the very first stage of its died, like you get the one sweet overkill, and then it's got this ability, I believe, where it's on water where it takes less damage. Muzaka sits behind the boss directly, so he gets to co-op, and then my mercenary Ekaterina goes here, so she can also co-op and then get direction advantage. That's how I normally set it up. But today we're going to go with Lee here and 0 here, so he can take that sigil over there. Lee will overkill the boss, so I'm going to want to have Lilith to come over here and pull the boss off of the water. We're going to want Yekaterina over here, and I think we'll just throw Muzaka. I do want Muzaka to co-op, so we'll put him right here. I would rather have him co-op with Lee on the initial burst than on the other ones. And then we'll put the second Yekaterina right here for a great co-op attack in the beginning. Alright, and let's hope that this works really well. So we're at 12.7 million. Can we get a 13.5? Almost. Obviously, I used Dominique and Beast Train and Dassomir. I'd be getting way crazier overkills, but it's not. Doesn't seem worth it right now. And it's very, like I said, it's very important to keep combat support just in case the boss is able to get lucky and land some disarms on your whole team. Oh, Lee's distracted. Blow up and die and kill everything. Sweet. Yeah, I like this better because Lee comes in closer. And with this formation, I think I'll get to keep the disarms coming for a few turns. Get some, like, even with Super Soldier Mizaka, it's not as good as having, 4 heroes attacking for a while. So I didn't really gear the crap out of my Ekaterina today either. I put, I think she had a Klein set on. I think I might have given her a Dasimir, but the rest was all vanilla gear. Like, I usually go much more hardcore, but I'm kind of saving most of my gold nowadays just to experiment with different set builds. Alright, so this is more like it turn 4 and we're gonna be up to Super Soldier. And as soon as that happens, yeah, I can switch to Guild Shelling. Alright, and that's Guild Shelling until around turn 25 or so. And then you switch off to just being playing it safe and keeping the defense debuff off yourself. I haven't really, we did some experimenting with Cret in the earlier stages of refining our Musaka thing, and a counter Cret might be better than the Super Soldier Musaka. Counter Cret obviously with Gold Tiger and whatever, but we do lose 50% attack, so it's not, it's tough to say because Musaka doesn't counter every turn, but he does use Ruthless every turn. And we are getting a 50% attack buff. Also, Musaka's sustain is a lot more regular, where Kretz is every other turn, but he does have his damage taken sweet buff. So, like, I don't know, I think there's a lot of good arguments for both sides. Like the long term sustain, Musaka hits the boss 12.5% or whatever twice in the time that over 2 turns, and Musaka on one of his 2 turns will recover for 30%. So I really do think that there's a good argument for both. Plus, there's no, like, you can make your crit damage crazy high, so especially you're using a Slime King set already, so there's a mace. You're using a Gold Tiger set already, so there's a mace. The counter set is another mace, so your counter damage is already really, really high. You can just maybe use a 2-piece extracurricular or maybe some other better set that lets you have more counter damage. I don't think you particularly need any high hit rate on this stage. And your 4-star set maybe. Well, I do prefer the Pathfinder. You do kind of want to have some crit. The difference between our super tanky Musakas and our well-balanced Musakas that have a decent amount of crit rate as well as the defense. Like, I have about a 60% defense crit rate. I used to have 70. I found that was a bit excessive because I was like finishing my runs around turn 31 to 32, and now I've focused on a little bit more defense so I can tank the level 7 boss to a degree, with some luck, depending. Like, I might get crit like too many times in a row, or cure and have him use his defense to buff on me right away, or like there could be a way that the turns just end up where it's not always perfect. But like, this has been our favorite strategy ever since Guild Raid came out. Seems like everybody else is using the crit thing. We're using the Musaka thing, and I really think that attacking with Ruthless, like Ruthless does, to me, it seems like it does a fair bit of damage. As much as a counter, I don't know about that. but there's also going to be a lot of stages in the early stages of the map where, as you can see here, like the boss isn't really strong enough to get me into the 75% zone that I would need to even activate the counter set. So this, like, I think every guild's gonna have to decide what's better for them. I think that we're gonna keep playing it safe and going with Muzaka. I think it's more consistent and more predictable and just better in general. I really don't see a need for us to switch to the corrupt build. Now, if somebody else is able to get 1.5 billion points and we're only able to get 1 billion, then yeah, we might look into it. But I would suspect that there might be a double D exploit if there was something like that. Well, enjoy the rest of the video. That'll be it. I will post the everything you need to know about Muzaka Day video. You're gonna have to be pretty patient to get through this entire video and that entire video too for all the really curious people. But kind of pick and choose the information that you need, see the right formations, and just good luck. Good luck rating. Oh, grats. One second, I'm trying to try this. Alright, I can get one more guild showing off. That would be a really overpowered pull. He doesn't need a lot of things. I guess an Omni set. He really needs a time for your shots, I think, actually. Well, looks like he got nothing. Oh yeah, the Mantra set might be really good for defense mode. I knew that was coming, I should have done that. Whatever, I think we're only on boss. Or I think, yeah, we actually are on boss 6. I should really actually pay attention. Stop chatting. He's in the zone where he's not going to hit me with that anymore. The defense debuff. Uh oh, this could be dangerous. Okay, good, it's my turn. Hopefully he uses the defense debuff first. Oh, he countered me. Getting counterattacked is like, sometimes it's just like instant death. It's just bad luck. Especially at this stage. I think he's gonna snipe me this turn, that stinks. Yep, don't be a crit. Okay, good. Let's see if I survive one more. Hopefully he doesn't, is it defense? Alright, good. Like when he uses the defense debuff, basically gives me, he won't use it the next attack, but he might use it the one after that. It's kinda iffy. But he usually will go every other turn with the defense skill. He'll use this one, and then he'll use the increased defense, and then he'll use the snipe. Whereas when he gets to the lower stages of health, he'll just alternate back and forth between the other two. The ones he uses in between. Yeah, so I'm gonna get killed in the next attack probably for sure, because he's using that snipe skill. It does so much damage. It's got a lot of guaranteed damage. That's why it's so damn strong. Oh, he didn't use it. Well, that's fantastic. Maybe I got him just into the right amount of HP for him to switch back and forth, but unfortunately I am decreased defense, so I'm totally dead here. Oh, I spoke too soon. If only that defense debuff was gone. Well, that was the turn 50, so that was pretty fantastic. I guess I'm just in the right amount of lucky and overpowered. See, who needs Dominique to get over the 13 mil mark? Oh, I guess I'm not over, but still. Not bad. Not a bad run. Anyway, hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll have this uploaded soon, and I will also release the everything to know about Muzaka Day video, and you guys can kind of sort through that one if you need more